Welcome to today's deep dive into one of the most polarizing topics in modern economics and environmental policy. We are talking about carbon tax chaos. As governments worldwide scramble to meet climate targets, the debate over putting a price on carbon has reached a boiling point. Is this an essential tool to save our planet, or is it a financial burden that everyday citizens simply cannot afford to bear? Today, we analyze the data, the costs, and the heated political landscape surrounding this controversial levy. We will explore whether you will truly pay more for a greener planet and what that means for your wallet. To understand the chaos, we must first understand the mechanism. A carbon tax is a fee imposed on the burning of carbon-based fuels. The goal is simple: make pollution expensive so that companies and individuals choose cleaner alternatives. In many jurisdictions, we are seeing a price of $50 per ton of CO2 equivalent. By 2030, many of these rates are scheduled to triple. It is a market-based strategy intended to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by targeting the source. However, the complexity lies in how this price trickles down through the entire supply chain, affecting everything from manufacturing to home heating.
For the average consumer, the theory of carbon pricing hits home at the gas pump and on utility bills. In regions with aggressive carbon pricing, we have observed gas prices plus 11 cents per gallon or liter solely due to the carbon levy. While proponents argue this encourages fuel efficiency, critics point out that for those in rural areas or with lower incomes, there is no easy alternative to driving. This creates a disproportionate financial strain. When energy costs rise, the price of groceries and essential goods follows, as transportation becomes more expensive for every item on the shelf. The execution of this tax varies wildly across the globe. Take the EU ETS carbon market, for example, which uses a cap-and-trade system for heavy industry. Meanwhile, Canada uses a federal backstop that applies a direct fuel charge. The results are mixed. In Europe, emissions have dropped in the power sector, but industrial costs have surged. In Canada, the political divide is widening as provinces fight the federal mandate. These different approaches show that there is no one-size-fits-all solution, and the chaos often stems from the friction between local economic needs and international climate commitments. One of the biggest fears for economists is carbon leakage. This occurs when a country imposes high carbon taxes, causing energy-intensive industries to move their operations to regions with 0% tax zones. If a steel mill moves from a regulated country to one with no carbon price, the global emissions remain the same, or even increase, while the original country loses jobs and tax revenue. This leakage undermines the entire environmental goal and creates an uneven playing field in the global market, leading to calls for carbon border adjustment mechanisms to tax imports from high-pollution regions.
To make the tax more palatable, some governments use a revenue-neutral model. In Canada, for instance, officials claim that 8 out of 10 families receive more back in rebates than they pay in carbon taxes. The idea is to tax the bad, carbon, and give the money back to the people to offset the cost of living. However, this remains a point of intense scrutiny. Critics argue that the hidden costs in the supply chain aren't fully covered by the rebates, while supporters insist it is the only way to maintain public support while driving long-term behavioral change.
The tension has moved from the boardrooms to the streets. We are seeing 2024 policy protests across several nations. From the yellow vests in France to Axe the Tax rallies in North America, the message is clear. Many citizens feel they are being punished for a problem they didn't create. Politicians are now facing a difficult choice: stick to their climate guns and risk losing elections, or roll back the taxes and fail their environmental promises. This political volatility adds another layer to the chaos, making long-term corporate planning nearly impossible due to the fear of policy reversals.
As we wrap up, the question remains: is the carbon tax a necessary evil or a policy failure? The goal of balancing climate versus cost is a delicate tightrope walk. Without a price on carbon, we may face catastrophic climate costs down the road. With it, we face immediate economic pressure today. As students and citizens, understanding these trade-offs is crucial. The chaos isn't just about the money. It's about how we value our future versus our present. Thank you for joining us for this objective look at the carbon tax debate. Stay informed and stay engaged.